Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me on my channel. We're doing another episode of How to Save Your Life, People's Experiences with A Course in Miracles. Today, I have a good friend here, Carlos Lavado. He is a Spanish-speaking Course in Miracles student who is having quite an experience with the Course in Jesus. Hi, Carlos. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, Tina. It's really a pleasure to be here.
Okay, so as usual, I'm going to ask 5 questions and you feel free to answer in whatever way you like. The reason we do these recordings is just for people to hear how life is transformed by doing A Course in Miracles. Sometimes people pick up the course and they think, oh, that's too much work. Why should I do that? I'm a big proponent of A Course in Miracles. Obviously, it's transformed my life in ways I never imagined, and it's transformed your life in ways you've never imagined. So let's start with the first question is, how long have you been doing A Course in Miracles?
Tina, before I answer your question, let me say that for many people, being Oprah's show is their big dream. For me, it's being here with you.
Oh.
I just want to say that because I don't want to be with Oprah's show, but it's really good nice opportunity to be here with you talking about Jesus, AC book and all this stuff. Just
Okay. Oh,
I
well,
need to
thank
say
you.
that.
I feel honored. Thanks.
A
The
pleasure.
audience isn't quite as big, but we have fun.
Well, about I started in 2020, just
Okay.
before pandemic.
Okay.
So yeah,
So like
pretty much
January 2020. Yeah.
see, pretty much 4 years, pretty much doing the blue book.
Okay. All right. Why? Why did you start doing A Course in Miracles?
To be honest, I heard about the book many years ago, but I have not interested in doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Now I understand wasn't my time. I
Yes.
was prepared maybe. Now I understand that. Because many people recommended me the book and said, you have to do it. I said, no, it's not for me. But it just was, I not even know what about the book is. I have no idea about that. But when I start reading Jesus' autobiography, in that book, Jesus recommended do it.
Oh, okay.
I said, okay, that is different because for me was if Jesus said you have to do the Course in Miracle, I have I have to do it. So that the reason was Jesus because Jesus pushed me to do that the Course in Miracles. So in my case was first I read Jesus my autobiography.
Okay.
I got in love with that book. I really got in love about Jesus. But, I mean, all this stuff, his life, his teachings, all these things. Then he recommended that many times in that book said you have to do it, Course in Miracles. So then I started.
Okay. Okay. So Carlos didn't want to do it, but when Jesus said do it, you became willing.
I became, yeah, now say it's not a normal people saying you have to do that one. Saying, okay, but I don't know why. I think wasn't my time. But
Yes.
when Jesus said in the books, he recommended, said, okay, now it's different. For me, was obviously a big recommendation. So it's like, okay, and I have to do it. So
Yes.
it was challenging for me at the beginning, but yeah, I started to just before pandemic. And the thing was when pandemic hit us, and all this stuff like we get into the houses and this stuff. I was so strong in my convictions at that time because the Jesus my autobiography book and because just the beginning of the Course in Miracles.
Okay. Okay. What was your experience of doing the lessons? Did you enjoy them? Did you find them difficult? How was your experience of the lessons? So it's interesting that you started it at the beginning of the pandemic, because that was a great time to do the lessons, obviously.
Well, at the beginning was challenging, was difficult for me because I didn't understand a word. Was difficult. Say, what is that? But I remember Jesus repeat many times. He said, "You don't need to understand. You need
Yeah.
to do it."
Yeah.
So I repeat myself many times. I don't need to understand. Just do it. Don't
Yes.
question. Just do it. So I repeat
Yes.
myself. At that many at that year of 2019, I start to understand how the ego works
Mm-hmm.
because Jesus teachings. So
Mm-hmm.
that was a really big beginning for me. Say, okay, that voice, that thoughts was inside me all the time. Don't do it, that bonky voice. Huh? So
Yeah.
when I start to understand how it worked, was really a big step for me. So
Yes.
uh, every time that voice said, "You don't understand that. You need to understand," I said, "No, I don't. I'm just gonna do it." But I did really enjoy the last exercise, well, exercise because there are 365,
Yes.
365 exercise. The last one I remember I really enjoyed.
Right. Yeah, because those early lessons, they're saying things that really don't make sense to our regular consciousness, like nothing in this room means anything, for example. And then you look around and you go, yes, it does. My dog, my pictures of my kids, like your mind wants to argue with those early lessons, right? So it's really an exercise in surrendering to a new way of looking at the world. So it can be very challenging for people, especially if you're really attached emotionally to certain things. I remember talking to one lady and she had a collection of angels in her room, 100 angels that she collected. And she found that lesson, nothing in this room means anything. It kind of frightened her because she was,
Exactly, challenging.
all of those statues meant something to her, right? So it can be a very challenging experience. However, that is when we start realizing that Jesus is teaching us something we don't know. We don't know how to do it. And our arguing mind is there, as you say, nattering at us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because when I recommended the book, many people, you remember the first or second lesson is that door is not there, doesn't exist, or something like that.
Hmm.
One of my friends said, "My daughter is not there. My daughter is not important. My daughter
Yeah.
is." You say, "No, no, it's not the way you need to look at it." No, 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 don't tell me that because my daughter is important for me. That is really challenging for me, many people. I
Yes.
understand that fear can, come up inside us.
Yeah.
Mm.
The ironic thing is, the more attached you are, the more you'll suffer. The less
Yeah.
attached, the less you'll suffer. And I think sometimes people think the course will make you an unloving person because it's pushing us towards less attachment. But in actual fact, I don't know if that was your experience, but my experience was it made me a more loving person because I was more open to everything rather than just the things that I wanted, right? It's a mind expanding journey.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. The same for me. At the beginning, I say I didn't understand, but then I felt like my mind was okay. I understand the compassion in a proper way, not
Hmm.
in the selfish way like was before. Now, yeah,
Yeah.
was a really, my mind was open wide enough to see, gaps or black points I couldn't see before. Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm. Now, you've gone through a very intense experience for the last few years after you started A Course in Miracles. So, the next question I ask people is, what transformations have you experienced doing A Course in Miracles? So, you can go into your experience of the inspirations you've had and the work that you now do. So, please let us know, what transformations have you experienced since doing A Course in Miracles?
Um, my life is still changing. I mean, if I see my life now, I completely sure it's gonna be in 1 year time. It's gonna be completely different.
Yes.
But I'm not the same
So
person than the
far,
year
the
before.
transformations so far.
Exactly. And I'm not the same person that the year before. So the thing is, um, because of the not just A Course in Miracles, I think it's because all Jesus book, because I was working on it, on them, Jesus my autobiography, A Year of Forgiveness. Now I'm working in making love to God. So because
But
of
first, before
all
we
of
go,
these,
sorry to interrupt you, but when you say you're working on them, people need to understand that you were inspired to
sorry, yeah,
translate them. You were translating them into Spanish.
yeah, exactly. I'm doing the translation into Spanish, and the thing is that job that changed my life completely, because first thing is I never, in my dream, in my wildest dream, never was translate a book into English. Never. I love writing. That is my passion.
Mm.
Even today is 17. One of my book was launched to the one of my book in Amazon and in the web page was launched today to the public.
Oh,
So
sweet.
that is a big.
Congratulations.
I'm really happy for that because it's a big step for me. Um, that is my dream, but I never expected to translate a book, let alone a Jesus book. So
Right.
when you challenged me to do that, because you did it, said, Carlos, why you did translate this book into Spanish?
Okay, so
So
I don't remember that conversation. When did I don't remember that. I don't remember challenging you to do that.
2019, I remember you sent me message by messenger, I think was a text, because it was really really weird because it was about you were building up your platform at that time. It
Yeah.
was at the beginning, I said. You asked me, do you know it's a platform, a private platform? So I didn't. No, sorry, I didn't. So, well, here is all the information. So I asked you, Tina, why this book, Jesus My Autobiography book, is so important for the Spanish-speaking country? Why is
Mm.
just in English?
Oh,
You
okay,
need to
okay.
translate into Spanish. I said, well, my team is too short, blah, blah, blah. Say, but the next time, the second text, uh, I, I insist, so sorry to insist you, but this book is really important to get into Spanish. And you said, why not you? So that was the point for me. Say, sorry,
See,
me.
I didn't remember that. I thought that it just came from an internal inspiration. I didn't realize that I didn't remember that. So that's funny. So that's great. Now I know.
Was all the fear came up because was a me, but I'm a
Little
normal
me.
guy. I I
Yeah.
I love writing, but I never did that. I don't never do a proper translating, not even a book.
Yes.
But say, why not? Hey, why not? Was August 2019. I remember because took me just about 4 or 5 months to finish the translation.
Right.
I translated pretty much in January 2020. I was so obsessed in the book because I done it, in the all school way. I mean, nothing AI,
No
just
AI. Yeah,
reading,
yeah. Yep. Yep.
translating, reading, translating. Obviously, I use a dictionary. I get some help about translation about that, but in the old way. So yeah, when I finished, I was so I I felt so strong in my convictions, about everything, about Jesus' teachings, about about all this stuff, about all this channeling.
Hmm.
For me, it was not just translating; was some kind of learning and some kind of, you know, just try to find the meaning of each word.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, I went through a similar process because when I was channeling the books, they made me transcribe them by hand as well. They didn't want me using an automatic system. And of course, you have to read every single sentence, right? And you have to think, oh, the comma go there, or does it, is that a comma or a full or a period? Or so they did the same thing with me. And I think it's an amazing way of learning to actually go through it sentence by sentence. And then because when we read, often we're just skimming along, right? We're not really paying attention to things. So, okay, so you translated the Jesus, My Autobiography, and A Year of Forgiveness. And then what happened? Something else happened.
Well, the thing is, when I finished the second translation, you're publishing in America, publishing in Spanish, like Spanish version, but that's it. So I thought many people ask me about where are the books? I mean, in paper. Where can I find them?
Yeah, yeah.
I many times ask email Melody about nothing is doing about is the advertising the books in Spanish or put a proper advertisement in Spanish. The thing is, 2 years after, I decide to okay, maybe I can do I can build up a publishing house and do this job for myself. I mean, I have a team because it's not just me. There are people help me and working with me in this translation and all this stuff. Yeah, this year I start doing the publishing house with your your books mainly. I mean, issue my autobiography and A Year of Forgiveness is in Spanish with a really, I think with, I'm not be too humble, but I think with done it a really good job with that,
I just think it's so good for people to hear this idea that you didn't even intend to translate the books, but you had that knowing, oh, Spanish people need this book. So then I challenge you and you step up to the challenge. And then you mentioned the name Melody. Melody is my publisher, and she had paid Carlos to do the Spanish translations, but they were only in digital form, and there was no marketing. There was no effort on her. She's got a big publishing company and she's busy. So there was no effort on her part to market these books, especially in Spanish, or print them even.
Spanish, exactly.
Yeah. So, and now here you find yourself stepping up and starting a publishing company. And she was very, very clear that that was impossible, that nobody could do that. So I think it's a wonderful thing for people to hear this story, because I know there are people who get the idea to do something, to open a bookshop or run a marathon or whatever their inspiration is, and they think it's too much. And now here we are 4 years later, and you've got a publishing company, you're printing the books in Spanish that you have translated.
Right.
And we're going to do this event in Barcelona. So let's tell people about this event in Barcelona that's coming up in November.
Well, in November, there is the largest Europe event about spirituality in Barcelona. Is 8th, 9th, and 10th in November.
Okay.
So in our case, it's going to be the first time we're going to be there as a publishing house. We are
Right.
going to be the first time. So I don't have the experience or previous experience about this stuff, but as long as I know, it's a, it's a crowded place. I mean, many people
Yes.
goes there. So
Yeah.
as a publishing house, we have this, well, maybe not expectation, but the dreams to all the Jesus teachings. Finally, people know about that because, you know, Spain and of Latin American countries, there are Catholic countries. So that means every time we advertise something, we have the program, the religious program that teaching is sorry, Jesus is channeling. No, that's not true. So I think November in Magic Barcelona is a big opportunity for us to show up with books. Jesus my autobiography, A Year of
Mhm.
Forgiveness. You are gonna be there. Carol is gonna be there. People can ask you some questions. You can
Mhm.
sign the books, all this stuff. So I think, yeah, we have a really good opportunity. You will channel the Saturday 8, I think.
Saturday evening, I
Uh,
think. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, your channel. So it's the first time you will channel in Spain, right? I think you've done it
It
in
is,
Ibiza
yes.
years ago, I think,
Yeah.
because I saw
Yeah,
an
it
old
is.
video. Mhm.
Also, I think it's really interesting that my business manager, Carol Morgan, is fluent in English and Spanish, and she is a channeler. Now, what are the odds that I have a built-in interpreter who can channeled material? Like it's so interesting the way Jesus has set this up. Like, what would I have done if I had an English-speaking business manager? We would have had to struggle to find someone who could understand the language and the topic. Carol knows the
The
information,
topic,
the topic, because the words are different, right? And the
exactly.
yeah, and the meaning is different than kind of ordinary
Mhm.
conversation.
Ex-
So we could not have organized this better. And this is what Spirit does. This is why it's called A Course in Miracles, because
Exactly.
miracles happen. You're only 4 years into the course. You now have a completely new life, business, collaboration, sharing Jesus' teachings around the world. You never would have planned that
No,
yourself. You never would have
I,
done it.
I, I promised, Tina. Wasn't in my wildest dream. Wasn't that?
No.
My dream was be a famous writer,
Yeah.
rich one, meet a lot of women,
Ah,
all this stuff, but never a publishing house about Jesus teaching. No, that wasn't my plan. But
yes.
I feel blessed. I really
Yes.
feel every single day. I say thank you. Sometimes I don't understand because I talk with
Yes.
Jesus. Sometimes,
Yeah. Well,
sorry,
it's
sometimes I don't understand you, but
yeah.
I know right, you are right, not me.
Well, sometimes I don't understand myself. That's not unusual. I go through the
Okay.
same thing, like I have ebbs and flows. Like I've been doing the channeling now for 12 or 13 years, and there will be times where I'm not inspired and I'm just doing my own personal development in my own life. And I do try and keep a real balance in my life now. For probably for around 10 or 11 years, I was just working, writing the books and building the online community. And now I can feel that there's been a lull this year, a sort of a quiet time. But I'm wondering if it's in preparation for the launch of the Spanish books, because we know the effect these books have on people. We know that there are people who maybe have left the church but love Jesus, and that's a very common theme with people who like A Course in Miracles and the Jesus My Autobiography, is that they no longer want to do the church thing, but they love Jesus. And this is the perfect teaching for those people, right? And so Jesus always speaks to people like you. He spoke to you. And yeah, so it's going to be very interesting to see. So yes, it's I'm channeling on the evening of November 9th in Barcelona. And on the 10th, we're doing a one-day workshop for people, anybody who wants to come. I'll put a link in the description box below for more details. So we'll send them to where they can register and find out more and all of that stuff, right? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. The Sunday is gonna be a workshop in Barcelona as well, but in a
Yes.
hotel. It's
In a
different
hotel in
places, but
Barcelona.
in the same city. The same city, but different places. It's just basically just there. I mean, it's not
Yes.
far from one from each other. Yeah, but
Right.
It's gonna be a workshop where you and Carol as well will channel as well. Yeah. So
Yes,
it's a
yes.
really good opportunity for all the Spanish people. Yeah, to be
Hmm.
there. It's a new experience. It's completely new in all the ways.
I understand there's quite a big Course in Miracles community in Spain. I have not encountered it yet. I know there's a big conference, well, they used to have a big conference in Ibiza before
Mhm.
COVID. There used to be a 10-day Course in Miracles conference there. So hopefully they'll get that back going, and maybe next year we can go to Ibiza and do something there. That'd be fun.
That'll be fun, exactly. Who knows? Yeah, yeah. When we start to visualizing that stuff. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So for the last question, why should people do the course? Like, what's your advice to people in terms of doing the course? Why should they take on this big 365 daily lessons? It seems like a lot of work.
Main reason. I think there are a main reason. That is, you need to gain control of your life again, because you don't control your life. So
Mm,
when you start to read Course in Miracles, just on my autobiography, you realize that you not control your life. I mean, see many people, it's full of drama, full of problems, complaining about this stuff, government, family, husband, wife. People don't understand how the life works, how this dream, because it's a dream, it works.
hmm.
When you do the course in miracles, you start to say, okay, I can manage that. I can really change my life. But it started with small things like understand why these thoughts I have is mine. Small things, but really important things like
Hmm.
this thought is all the time in me, blah 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 blah. How it works? I can low down or shut up. So when you understand that, you gain a lot of power in your life. You gain
Yes.
control of your life. So many
Hmm.
people ask me, why are you so interested in this blue book? I say, because my life is changing.
Yes.
I see in myself and in others as well. But you
Yes.
need to be brave enough to do it, because many people say, no, 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 no. It because the ego voice is not another thing, but yeah. Uh, Answer your question is because you're gonna gain control of your life again. That is the main reason. You're
Hmm.
gonna It's gonna be in your hands, your life, because you will understand what problems happen, why the problem happened to you. No? I'm a good person, but I still have a lot of problems. My life is a mess. I cannot control this stuff or that stuff, that problem or this problem. Okay, what is the solution? I don't know, but I need to complain. What that is not the solution. It's just complaining. You need to do
Yeah.
something. So I'm really I'm really in love with the blue book is because I see myself. Now I'm more calm person. I
Hmm.
control my thoughts. Even
Hmm.
I gave these thoughts a name. I call the terrorist inside you.
A terrorist. It is a terrorist. Yeah.
It's a terrorist. Well, some people it's just a hooligan or a troublemaker. No? But for others, it's a fundamentalist or really a terrorist because
Hmm. Hmm.
so when I explain them how the thought works, they ask me, where did you get this information? I said, okay, the book. Huh?
Yes.
So I saw the book, said, okay, that is for me, that is, you're going to gain control of your life again.
Control. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And it's such an illusion that we think we have control of our lives before the course, but it's the chaotic nature and the emotion, a lot of emotionality. We don't realize that we are manufacturing it ourselves. And as we train our mind, the
Mhm.
drama lessens, the fear lessens, the love expands. And sometimes even things like abundance and financial abundance changes, you know, as you do the course, because you're raising yourself up through this training program. You're raising yourself up out of the battleground, as the course calls it, right? We're living in a battleground and we have to get above the battleground. And of course, that's the training of the Course in Miracles. And for some people who don't know, Jesus is the teacher in A Course in Miracles. It's his voice. This is the true teachings of Jesus without any human interference, without any religious interference. It's a beautiful training program to get your mind from fear to love. And we do that through the practice of forgiveness, which of course we know he taught that when he was on the earth. But this is a very, very detailed manual of how to use your mind and to bring your life into alignment with the purpose that you had in coming to the earth. So what I see for myself, and I'll let you reflect on yours, is that I was pretty lost before the Course in Miracles. I was an artist, but I was very emotional. I'd had 2 divorces and life was not going great. And once the Course came to me, I found this very, very intense focus. And what I realized was this was my purpose now well, for 12 years, I didn't know my purpose. All I knew was I loved the Course and I loved doing it and it made my life better. And then this channeling thing happened and like, oh, wow, this is my purpose. And it's so wonderful. And this is one of the things I like to encourage people is if you feel that you haven't found your purpose, to do the Course in Miracles lessons, and it will guide you slowly but surely towards your purpose. And now it seems that you've found a purpose in this translation and the publishing of these books in Spanish. So what would you like to say in closing, Carlos? What would you like to say in closing?
I would like to say that the Blue Book helped me to find my blueprint, because my blueprint is, now I understand, my blueprint is related with Jesus' teachings. I many people ask me, and I explain them, I have the second best job in the world, that is publishing, translating and publishing in Jesus' book. I said the first best job is Tina, because he's challenging. But I have the second. It's not bad. It's the second. That's okay.
Pretty good.
I got the second best job because I feel really blessed. How many people had the opportunity to publish Jesus' book into Spanish?
Yeah. Well,
So
yeah.
I feel really blessed. I'm not. I mean, for me, it's really important. I feel really, really blessed. Sometimes I don't understand, but to close in this chat, just said, don't doubt it. Do it, the course. Don't give up. Sometimes I know sometimes we have difficult days and hard days and say, oh no, I understand that because that's happened to me as well. I understand that because sometimes nothing happened, nothing changed. But day after, it's a new day. Day after is a new opportunity. And every thought you have the day before, you have the opportunity to change it to loving thought. So for me, that is the most important stuff. Yeah.
Right. Okay, everyone. Well, that's our little chat and another good demonstration of why you should start A Course in Miracles if you've been listening to this. Magic Barcelona is coming up in November. So that's the 8th, 9th, and 10th. And I'll be channeling on the 11th, so you can sign up. I'll put the link below in the description box for you to get more information. And if you're in Europe, please do consider coming. I think it will be a really great time, and I'd love to meet you. So thank you, Carlos, for this chat.
It's a pleasure, Tina, and thank you so much for having me here.
Okay, thanks everyone for joining me, and please do subscribe and share this video. That will be very helpful. I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.